Hello everyone, KV here, and welcome back to Let's Play Tales Berseria Blind. On the last episode, oh dearie dear, just go watch it. We fought the boss of the Water Temple, technically speaking. We saw some things we probably shouldn't have seen. I'm sure we can all agree on that, but at this point, we are pretty much without any hesitation confirmed the Abbey's a bunch of jerks, and they have people who are inside it who may not agree with that, but because of basically a kind of dictatorship-ish regime that it kind of has going on. Okay, sorry. I'll get to that in a second. Let's finish our thought from before. They have some people who may not agree with the whole, what they're doing, because it's pretty bad, and it's all for, the greater good, but it's like, no, yeah, that is, yeah, oh my freaking gosh. Okay. So, the bottom line. Last episode. Stuff, nuts, Abbeys are awful. We already knew that, but now we're getting even more insights of just how freaking terrible they are. They can't even give one of their high Praetor dudes good surgery, good health insurance to get his freaking eye fixed. Because he's had that patch on his eye since for the last 40 episodes. So, yeah. Okay. On to my new freak out. Barbados! Yay! Okay, explanation. Barbados Gatia is a major antagonist from Tales of Destiny 2. If I haven't brought Tales of Destiny 2 enough during this, it should be by no surprise, it's probably still one of my favorite Tales games. Barbados is not the main antagonist of Tales of Destiny 2, but he is a major antagonist who is just like the most threatening yet eventually kind of silly villain. Like he's not silly in his own game per se. He's actually a legitimate threat. He feels threatening in the scenes he's in, and he also feels threatening when you're fighting him because he is actually very powerful. He's one of the hardest boss. You fight him 3 times, and all of them are most likely some of the hardest boss fights in the entire game, if long as you're not doing like extra stuff, because there's harder bosses obviously. But he was noted for sometimes being very mishandled, and his entire character is very intriguing to me, because he's a guy who basically got a second chance to quote-unquote redeem himself by just basically being a hired hand to be an assassin. Because he, in his game, was technically written out of history for being such a horrible person. And so his whole, arc within the game is him just basically trying to do something that, in the New World Order that the main antagonist is trying to create, he would become a big shot, just so he can be a big shot. He's an arrogant, awful, awful person. But unlike Artorias, there's something about him that just is so kind of alluring. He does things by his own will, and he does not like underlings. He likes doing things, whatever the cost, he can do them. And his exit in Tales of Destiny 2 is pretty amazing, just because it shows the proof of his character that he is so single-minded driven to something that he will go to extremes just to prove something, even if that results in his death. So, I love Barbados. He's my favorite. He's one of my favorite Tales characters, and one of my favorite RPG villains of all time. Now, obviously, this Arch-a-thing is named after him. That's probably just a coincidence at this point, because I am pretty gosh darn sure the Destiny games have nothing to do with this, or the Symphonia or Fantasia games. However, in later appearances, Barbados would show up later. He became kind of this in-joke character for a while. I'm not quite sure why, but he became very popular. he showed up in the Tales of Destiny remake, and canonically it actually makes sense as to why he was there. His main gimmick is he was there in older Tales games, so we'll back out for a sec. So if you were to go to strategy, not strategy, where would it be? Settings? Rising Falcon. Neat! Arts. So if you were to go to here, and you went to like the control mode, so manual, you have auto, semi-auto, and manual. Now, in older Tales games, I'm not sure about how they fixed it, if they've done anything recently. This is 10 years ago now when they did this thing. But what people would do is that if you had a PS2 controller, you usually would have the 2 sticks on the bottom. So since you can put everyone to auto, what you could do is you could set all the player characters to auto, and then put a rubber band between the 2 different sticks, because what that would do is that you would have essentially running in circles permanently like this. Now, obviously, this doesn't work as well in a game like this, because there's actual creatures you have to go interact with. But in older Tales games, there was random battles. So all you had to do was this, put everyone to auto, and pretty much just give them some decent arts, and you could leave the game on and go do something else while they grinded for you. Pretty silly. In the Tales of Destiny remake, they put Barbatos in as a countermeasure to that. So basically, if you did that too many times, the game would recognize if you were purposely kind of running around circles for hours. He would show up, and then basically decimate your team. It's amazing. And if you would do anything in that battle to like try to like fix anything up, he would then bring out his now canonical Hyogi, which I'm pretty sure has a different name at this point, but it was initially called No Items Ever. And so if you use an item, instant triggered, instant just goes off, and he would just basically do a one-hit KO to the entire party if you did that. It was amazing. He has appeared in other games. I believe he was in Berseria as well, and he has the no items thing going on. I'm not quite sure what his popularity is in Japan, because obviously that's how he became popular, to show up in these other games. But I always have a soft spot for the guy, because he's one of my favorite antagonists. And for the record, he has no redeeming qualities. He is a complete jerk. He has nothing about him. He's not trying to do anything for noble reasons. He is just a selfish prick. I don't know why I find that endearing. I just find it it's just a good villain, because, you know, we have all these RPG villains that go on about, like, oh, well, I'm just trying to change the world to do this because blah, blah, blah. And here comes Barbatos going, I don't give a crap. I just want to kill stuff. So I think I just like that, because it was kind of a subversion of the genre, to me at least. Anywho's, so if you probably have noticed at this point, as the description is saying, I know I'm wasting way too much time explaining this, but dude, I love Barbatos, okay? This is the homeland of a clan of warriors who obstinately refuse to use items in battle. So, a call out to that Hyogi. Their fighting style is crude, but overwhelming, and they are highly valued as mercenaries, so amazing. Barbatos is also voiced by Norio Wakamoto in the Japanese version of the Tales games. If you're not familiar with Norio Wakamoto, he is probably most known for being the voice of Cell in Dragon Ball Z, as well as in the Hellsing OVA, he voices Father Anderson. And if you've heard his voice, it is the most creepy thing. Like, it's not necessarily awful, but it is something that's just like, you hear that voice and you just go, oh, okay, check out. Nope. Yeah, it's pretty creepy. Oh, that's not good.
My, the effects are already starting to show.
Where have you seen this before? Oh, right, at the city, back at Velvet's hometown. Okay, anyways, but it has this like distinct tone to it that is just so menacing. I love it. Like, he gives the greatest performance, and Barbatos is one of my favorite characters that he's voiced. He also voices Metalface from Xenoblade Chronicles. And Metalface is a bit more subdued compared to Barbatos, but gosh, his performances for both those, because Metalface is probably my second favorite RPG villain, now that I think about it. they're just they're such a good he has such a good chemistry with the characters that he voices. So I just, oh my gosh. So I was not expecting a Barbados reference. I'm half tempted to now tie my sticks together for 3 hours and see if anything happens, but since there's not random battles, you have to actually run into physical beings. Don't think that's going to be the case. But I would love to see him show up actually in this game. So, I love Barbados Gaetia. I don't know if that says anything awful about me, because he is honestly an awful, awful villain. And it is satisfying when he finally gets defeated in his own game. Just, oh man, I could go on and on about Tales of Destiny 2 and how much I freaking adore that game and how great it is. And Barbados is like a huge highlight for that because, again, it's just a villain who doesn't care. He's not in it for anything that he considers to be greater than anything else. He's just in it because he's a jerk. So, and I know that may seem, if you think that feels like a shallow character, think about how many RPGs or JRPGs have some bad guy trying to do something that's obviously bad, but they're saying, oh, it's for the greater good. Think about that for a second. How many RPGs have that villain archetype? Think about how many RPGs just have evil for the sake of being evil. The only thing I can really think that comes to mind is Lavos from Chrono Trigger, and to me, Lavos isn't really a being, he's just chaos. So, yeah, I think that's a huge thing. Metal Face 2 actually kind of fits that description as well. He's not doing anything for the grander picture. He's just doing things because he can. Kind of ironic that both of them were voiced by Wakamoto now I think about it, but hey. I can possibly have Barbados in Super Smash Bros. Since Metal Face is in that game. Alright, so that's me gushing way too much about Tales of Destiny 2, Nori Wakamoto, Barbados, and Metal Face. So let's move on and see how things are going now that this is all taking place. Oh no.
What's up? Did you come to share something else you found in that book?
Not quite. I'm afraid the malevolence has grown too dense for me to hole up at the inn reading.
Malevolence?
Yep, here comes the Demon Blight.
The hell? What's that coming out of their bodies?
Malevolence. They're all hitting their limits.
Demon Blight! Even the inn girl! Why is this happening?
They're demons now. Their malevolence is spilling over.
The malevolence. All of that energy spilling from their bodies? That's what causes the demon blight?
I don't know what kind of pose you're trying to make there, you don't
Do you know
smoke.
what demon blight really is? What demons are?
They couldn't have gotten far. Track them down at all costs. We'll talk later. The exorcists are going to have their hands full with these demons. Let's get back to the ship while we can.
And they're just gonna murder them. That's disgusting. I like Rokudo carrying Grim there, though. Alright. Well, time to get back to the port, I guess. So, I definitely offset this episode with my crazy discussion of earlier. Alright, actually, you know what? Hi there. We don't have enough to open that. Does malevolence spread here too? I mean, we have the bad music playing everywhere. Time for a game of cards! No. Where are we headed? To just the ship? Yep. Alright. So long. You're gonna need it. I don't like this music. This music creeps me out. I mean, it's actually probably the music's intention, so it's doing its job, but I don't like it. Hope you have a nice day. Actually, I want to check. Do we have anything? Yeah, we do. Boop, boop, boo. Gonna get some stuff for you guys first. Cute shoes. Have some battle boots. Actually, so Eleanor, have you not finished that war pike yet? Oh my golly. Huh, that's not ominous at all. Hey, how's it going? Don't mind me. I'm just saving. Nothing bad's gonna happen to you today, I'm sure. I'm not tipping you off with my voice cracking, am I?
Where are we going? Where's my mom?
Kamoana, your mother is still far away.
Then I need to wait for her at home. Let's go back to Haria.
Scary demons are running through the village. It's too dangerous there now.
But I want to see my mom.
Your mom would be sad if you got hurt by a demon. Come with us, and we'll keep you safe until she comes back.
This poor kid.
Okay, I'll go with you. I wouldn't want Mom to be sad.
Oh, dear. Yeah, this poor kid. My golly. I hate the Abbey a lot.
All right. You're going to tell me about the demon blight and malevolence.
So, Aizen knew about this the entire time?
Seriously thinking of breaking the Moloch taboo?
Oh.
Depends.
Moloch taboo? This is about more than just the demons. You could say it's the truth behind how this world really works. The knowledge can be devastating to humans, throwing into question everything they think they know.
That's probably why Tori started
And so
being
the
a
Moloch
jerk.
team agreed to withhold it from humans. For their own protection.
Do you still want to know?
It's not like I'm a human anymore.
What about
I
Magilou?
keep lying to myself. I can't go on unless I know the truth.
You asked for it.
Alright, Aizen. Let's hear it.
First of all, this thing, this illness you call Demon Blight does not exist.
Okay, that makes sense.
Any human carries the potential of becoming a demon. All it takes is for the malevolence lurking in their heart to overflow.
Truly, if there is evil in this world, it comes from the hearts of men.
What is this malevolence?
Sorry.
Impure emotions beyond what reason can suppress. Think of it as the sin buried in men's souls.
So you knew.
I'm a witch. So malevolence is the darkness in all our hearts. Make any sense to you guys? Any at all?
I knew she knew something, but now I'm more confused about what she is.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
By nature, humans are incited by negative energy. It is easy to turn them towards impurity, creating malevolence. In fact, most people are constantly generating malevolence.
It might even be possible that demons are people's true selves, and what little reason they possess is all that keeps them in human form.
If the masses realize this, the realm would be thrown into utter chaos. That's why the Abbey propagates the lie of demon blight.
So I presume.
That can't be true! You know yourselves there weren't any demons before the opening!
Not necessarily.
It used to be that humans couldn't see demons
Yep.
or Malachim. Not unless they possessed a unique spiritual talent we call resonance.
All your average human would see was someone turning extremely violent.
Oh.
Unable to explain what was happening, they just call those people possessed or feral.
Then what made people see them all of a sudden?
I don't know. My guess would be that something triggered greater resonance among
The
all
thing
humans.
Artorias did 3 years ago!
Then, on the day of the Advent, all humans gained the ability to perceive Malachim. And in the following days, the Exorcist numbers swelled.
This has to be Artorias' doing.
Ding ding ding!
But if there's no sickness, why would an entire village turn into demons at the same time?
8-headed is the lord of the land, with 7 mouths to devour malevolence. Humans produce malevolence, which Therians consume and transmit to a Nominat. But when we removed Kamawana from the Earth Pulse point...
Clever boy. That's right. With no Therian to absorb their malevolence, the villagers could no longer contain it.
So you're saying it's all my fault?
Hey, what's going on? You all look so sad. It's scaring me.
On the other hand, at least now we know we can trust the contents of that ancient book. We tear the Therians away from their Earth Pulse points. Inominat's power will wane, and will prevent this awakening.
But if we take away the Therians, then more and more humans will turn into demons.
It's the only way to kill Artorias.
Ooh, the knives come out.
So even the truth won't stop you. Very
Sorry,
well.
I'm like really invested in this.
Since each Therian looks different, we'll only find them by capturing the Earth Pulse points one by one.
So we're still gonna do our
Humans and demons.
quest, but this does kind of bring a huge conundrum into the whole ordeal, I guess.
That's Eleanor.
Cheer up, Eleanor. Your mommy's looking over you too, you know.
Yeah, so she is.
Thank you, Kamawana.
Grimoire, I want you to tell me more about what you said earlier. About malevolence? I told you, the subject is taboo. I understand that human emotions create a poison called malevolence that turns people into demons. Is there no
I think this
way
is
to
Velvet's
stop
theme.
malevolence from being created? As long as humans remain human, no. Malevolence is born of emotion.
It basically is an emotion, so...
Your kind must have found a way around it. Malachim experience emotions too. But Malachim do not produce malevolence, unlike humans. That's a lie. I've watched a Malak turn into a demon. That only happens when we are exposed to too much external malevolence. True. The island was full of prisoners and demons. And Melchior hit that Malak with something that turned it into a wyvern. Was it malevolence? To Malachim, malevolence is a powerful toxin. We seek those of purity to serve as vessels to protect us from it. It is not a perfect solution, however. If the vessel is corrupted, the Malak is as well. That is correct. So if Eleanor turns into a demon, then Laphicet... That must be what Eisen meant when he said he'd hate to see Laphicet's vessel broken. A small crack in one's soul is often all it takes to break
But
a
his
person's
vessel's a
soul.
coin.
So try not to pick on our squeaky clean exorcist too much, hmm? Thanks for the warning.
Okay, but his thing is a coin, so... But is the coin pure? Just pure curse? It's pure in some way, I guess, right?
So I rescued this poacher who'd run away from one of those Class 4 islands, right? She mentioned something about being hired by some chef to go hunt a rare wolf on the island.
It's a wonder chef.
She didn't see a single blasted critter on that island, let alone any rare wolf. Place was empty.
Then why did she run away?
Even though she never saw nothing, she kept hearing some beast howling round the island. Freaked her right out, I tell ya. When she got back to her boat, her food had been pilfered, and her ship was scratched up to hell. She got out of there as quick as she could, but her ship sunk soon as she hit open water.
Sounds like whatever's there is as smart and manipulative as it is vicious.
Sounds like. Later I heard some talk about how several exorcists had gotten killed on that island. If you plan on going, you'd best be very cautious.
Oh, okay, cool, yo. We got another Class 4 zone to go to. But I think for now, because we had a super long episode last time, we're going to end it off here, because, oh boy, that's some more heavy stuff. Heavy stuff indeed. So, thank you all very much for watching this episode of Let's Play Tales Berseria Blind. If you like this video, please consider hitting that like button below. If you want to see more content from me, please consider subscribing. Tales of Berseria is available on PlayStation 4 and Steam. Steam is how I'm playing it. If you want to pick it up, please do so and give Namco Bandai your support. Otherwise, please have a wonderfully great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Until then, ciao.